Ashover lies in the valley of the River Amber, about halfway between Matlock to the south and Chesterfield to the north. The Old Poets' Corner is one of 3 fantastic pubs in the village, in which there are regular poetry nights, as well as blues and folk evenings. The beer menu is extensive, and is a must-visit for all real ale lovers. I remember a few years ago, on social media, some guy posted something about the Old Poets. Can't remember what it was, but I made a comment saying, probably the best pub in Derbyshire, I said. And this guy responded to my comment, he said, the best pub on the planet Earth. Well, I can't really fault him there. So I've been here lots of times with friends over the years. Normally, one of us will drive from Matlock, and then we'll leave the car overnight, and because we'll get a taxi back, because we'll enjoy some beer there, and then one of us will take us back the next morning to pick our car up. And it's a really fantastic pub. Always been great. A friend had his 40th here and we had a nice meal. Another friend had his stag do here, but we went to all 3 pubs in Ashover, because Ashover is just a fantastic night out. Despite being a village, it's a really nice place for a night out. And if you go to the Old Poets, there's a blackboard there with all the beers listed on there. So we usually sort of pick several on the blackboard and try a few different ones. It's great. But yeah, I can't recommend the Old Poets highly enough. Opposite the Old Poets, I walked up Church Street, passing an old horse mounting block and a water pump. On the other side of the street is the Old Tuck Shop, a delightful little gift shop run by Anna, who also makes lovely cakes and sells Bradwell's ice cream. All Saints' Church dates from between 1350 and 1419 and was built by Thomas Babington, although the porch dates from 1275 and the north aisle is mid-14th century. Beyond the church, I came to the second of Ashover's 3 pubs, the Crispin. So I know when we came for my friend's stag do years ago, we had a meal in the Old Poets, and then we came here, had some drinks in the Crispin afterwards. Yeah. And then went on to the 3rd pub. Yeah. Just a really great night out. In fact, I'd say I've had some of my best nights out ever here in Ashover. Yeah. Just around the corner on Moor Road, there is a farm shop and a cafe and post office, appropriately named The Stamp. I then passed the 3rd pub, the Black Swan. The sun's lovely now. Here's the Black Swan, the 3rd of the 3 pubs in Ashover, and my friend stag do, we ended up here. I've had a meal here since as well, and it was really nice. Not been for a while now, but yeah, just 3 excellent pubs in one little village. Just past the Black Swan, I took a footpath on the left leading into a field, signposted to Farhill and the Fabrick. It's Saturday the 13th of November 2021, and yeah, I do come to Ashover a lot. This falls in the district of North East Derbyshire, and this is another lovely walk which isn't in the Peak District, although we're not far away. We're only just over 4 miles from Matlock, to be fair, so but Ashover, funnily enough, was another village that they used as a location in the TV series Peak Practice. You may remember on earlier walks I spoke about Cryche being the main village that was used for the series. That was Cardale in the series, but then in later series they came here to Ashover, so Ashover was Cardale then. Because I seem to remember that the Black Swan was used as a village pub. And then I think it was just in the last series they went to Longner in Staffordshire, and that was Cardale, so they've used 3 completely different villages as Cardale, so yeah. Beyond the field, I walked along a lovely walled path, which passed under 2 very quaint low bridges. Climbing some steps into the little settlement of Farhill, the path came out onto a lane, where I turned left to climb more steeply. I then continued up a path and series of steps, taking me to the top. Well, I'm at Ashover Rock, although it's probably better known to everybody as the Fabrick. The Fabrick, or Ashover Rock, is a gritstone boulder and viewpoint, sitting on an area of heathland over 980 feet above sea level. It is the highest viewpoint for a considerable distance, and the majority of the landscape east of this point to the coast is lower. Consequently, on a clear day, views can be seen of nearby Chesterfield with its crooked spire, Bolsover Castle, Hardwick Hall, some suburbs of the city of Sheffield, and the surrounding counties of Nottinghamshire, Leicestershire and Staffordshire. I decided to climb onto the rock to enjoy the views. Great view from the top of the Fabrick here, and I think from here I'll have some of the best views of the day. Certainly the best view of Ashover over there. And over that side, I'm looking over further into North East Derbyshire and into the Bolsover district of Derbyshire. And in there, in the distance, is the town of Chesterfield. I've heard people say before now that here on the Fabrick, it's almost like a little piece of the Peak District has been taken out and placed here. You can see what they mean, really. It is like a mini Peak District. Well, as with many views that I get on my walks, I can stay here all day. Oh well, I'm just going to climb down off the rock anyway for the time being. I think I came here at the right time. It's starting to get busy now. Oh well. Right, here's the trig point, so I may as well bag it.
Always, more or less always Chesterfield. Yeah.
Yep, definitely got here at the right time. It's getting busier and busier now, so I think that calls for me to move on. From the Fabrick, I took the path heading south, which soon descended to a lane. Turning left, I soon came to Alton Lane, which I followed as it curved to the right towards Littlemoor. That sun is really lovely now. I can't complain at all. So a little bit of road bashing to do now, but it shouldn't be too bad. The lanes round here are fairly quiet. He says that, and then all of a sudden a whole queue of traffic comes down. Anyway, I'm just entering the village of Littlemoor now. Reaching Littlemoor, I turned right, where I could see great views of Ogston Reservoir in the distance. I walked past the phone box and Methodist chapel, soon turning off along Eastwood Lane. This narrow road wound its way down to pass the long derelict Eastwood Hall. These ivy-covered ruins are all that remain of an Elizabethan manor house destroyed in 1646 during the Civil War. At the end of Eastwood Lane, I turned left along Hard Meadow Lane. I couldn't help noticing just now, but as I was walking down to the road here, I could see all these orange blobs in this field. It's pumpkins! Loads and loads of pumpkins! Look at them! I don't think I've actually ever seen so many pumpkins. There must be hundreds of them there. Oh well. Taking the next footpath on the right, I crossed a field before passing along the edge of Farhill Quarry. Emerging onto another lane, I turned left into Fallgate. Taking another path off to the right, I descended between houses. I soon reached the River Amber, from where I followed a very pleasant riverside path as it led me to Milltown. My path emerged at the side of the Miners' Arms. Milltown once had a station on the Ashover Lights Railway, connecting Ashover and Clay Cross, which closed in 1936. Another place I remember coming to once many years ago, and yet another place that's on my ever-growing list of places to revisit. Yeah. I remember it was one of the evening walks I did with my friend years ago that we used to do sort of midweek for an hour's walk or something after work. And yeah, we came and had a pint and sat outside here at the Miners' Arms. Yep. Another one I must come back to sometime. It's a lovely spot, certainly. From the Miners' Arms, I followed Gin Lane, which led me westwards. I soon had great views over Ashover Hay to the left, and Cocking Tor ahead of me, which I was making my way towards. Continuing in the same general direction, and passing a house on the left, I took a path climbing to the spoil heaps of the former Gregory mine below Cocking Tor. I'll stop here for lunch now, I think. After my sandwich, I climbed up the zigzagging path beside the spoil heaps, soon passing a very conspicuous chimney, which, although you might assume is a remnant of the old mine, apparently has nothing to do with it. So that's the end of the climbing for today. That's 2 climbs on today's walk. The first one was of course up to the Fabrick from Ashover, and the second one was this one from Milltown up Cocking Tor here. So yeah, it's more or less going to be a level walk and downhill now as I make my way slowly back towards Ashover. Now I can see over where I walked earlier. I can see Milltown down there, and in the distance I can see Ogston Reservoir again. So I could see earlier when I was up at Littlemoor. Yeah, lovely. Oh well, I'll get on, not much further to go now. Leaving the spoil heaps, I took a delightful path through woodland, beyond which I walked along a fine stretch of raised stone causeway. Reaching a crossroads, I passed near to Overton Hall. My way, however, was straight ahead along a wide track, which would lead me back to Ashover. I'm approaching Ashover again now then. Nearly back. Well, now that I'm approaching Ashover again, it seems a good opportunity to give another shout out. So today's shout out goes to all my friends with whom I've had many nights out here in Ashover and enjoyed them all very much, and I know we're going to have many more again in the not too distant future. So I'd like to give a shout out to Oliver and Elaine, Chiz and Kerry, Mark and Becky, Steve and Dawn, Neil and Andrea, Neil and Karen, Derek and Jenny, Ed and Paul, and finally Shimmy and Bondi. Bondi, bless him, sadly, who's no longer with us. But Shimmy and Bondi came with us to Derek's stag do many years ago. But yeah, we've had many nights out here in Ashover, and I look forward to many more soon. would be so tempting for me to just go and have a quick half in the old Poets now, but I'm not going to. As I say, I don't usually go for a quick half after my walks, so I just want to get home. But I do know that it won't be much longer before I'm back here soon with my friends for another wonderful night out in Ashover.